Hey everybody, this is BohanGirl84, aka Peck to Death 84 here on YouTube, and welcome to my Let's Play of the Resident Evil HD remake, and I'm playing this on the Xbox 360. And what I'm thinking right now is that in Capcom's grand tradition, there you go, you see their name here, of kind of re-releasing the same game about 50 times under like a few different names, we should just rename this HD remaster to something like Resident Evil HD Hyper Alpha Remix or something like that. So curious to see how the graphics here stack up compared to the remake that you may or may not know was released back in something like 2002. It was originally for the GameCube, and then later on it came out for the Wii. And when those games first came out, where there was kind of this exclusivity with Nintendo, you had Resident Evil, I think the remake was first, then 0, then 4. Then of course the games came out for other systems. I was kind of a diehard PlayStation fan, so I was really surprised that they weren't going to release the remake and 0 on a PlayStation console. So I'm going to start right up with this new game. And okay, we have a few options here. Wide or original? I'm not sure what the difference is. So the controls, I'm actually going to go with original. I don't know what the alternate is. I have no idea, but I'm just going to stick with the original because I'm used to that. This is interesting here. There's actually 3 difficulties here in the original remake. That's going to be so confusing, by the way. There's only 2 difficulties, the hike and the mountain climbing, I think, which is normal and hard. And I'm gonna pick Joe Valentine here. But 3 difficulties. That's interesting. I wonder if they've bumped up the difficulty for the normal, or if they've just added an extra easy mode. We'll find out. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the intro play for your enjoyment.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we are searching for the helicopter of our compatriots, Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of their mission.
Found it yet?
No, not yet, Brad. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. The Bravo Team was sent in to investigate, but we lost contact.
Look, Chris.
Bravo Team's helicopter was a derelict. Save for the remaining body of Kevin. We continued our search for the other members, and it turned into a nightmare. Stairs this way. Damn it! Make for that mansion!
Enter the survival horror. Badass.
There are only 3 STARS members left now. Captain Wesker, Barry, and myself. We don't know where Chris is.
What is this place?
Not quite your ordinary house, that's for sure.
Hey, Wesker, where's Chris?
Jill, no. You don't want to go back out there.
But we've got to find...
What was that?
Chris?
No.
Jill, go and investigate.
I'm going with her. Chris and I go back a long way.
All right. You two go. I'll secure this area.
Stay sharp.
And even though the door was already open in the previous scene, you have to see it again.
A dining room.
Okay, so right about here I'm kind of sort of getting used to the controls a little bit. I mean, they're very similar to the original Resident Evil, but I think there's some differences.
You'd better take a look at this.
What is it?
Did he lick it? Ugh.
Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Let's just hope it's not Chris's.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna check out this room over here. And even though it's been a while since I've played the remake, and we have to actually say original remake, that just blows my mind. Like, holy cow. Ooh, that dude's twitching. It's terrible. Oh, I never noticed you could see his eye, like his iris and stuff. I don't know if you could see it in the remake, the 2002 remake, but maybe that's an HD upgrade right there.
What is it?
Look out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of it.
I love this part right here. Barry has this big ass magnum, and it takes 3 shots to down the zombie. A magnum.
What the hell is this thing?
I found Kenneth killed by this thing. Let's report this to Wesker.
Okay. So I don't know. I am kind of noticing that there are definitely some graphical upgrades. That was the zombie that Barry killed, by the way. Again, 3 magnum shots, he still wasn't dead. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Wesker! Jill, help me look for him. Let's not leave this hall.
Good idea.
So I did notice, like I said, it's been a while since I played the 2002 remake, but it does look different. This game does look different, and it does, I think, qualify as an upgrade. I know I come down a lot on the HD versions of Code Veronica, for example, and Resident Evil 4, because to me they really didn't look like upgrades. I know that sounds crazy, but in my eyes they just didn't really look like upgrades. But this, I don't know, I think they did what they were supposed to do here. So even this area is really not that big to justify such a search.
Any luck, Jill?
No, nothing. What's going on around here? I can't figure it out.
Same here.
Chris, and now Wesker.
There's not much we can do. We can search for him separately. I'll investigate the dining room again.
Okay, then. I'll try the door on the other side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could easily get lost. Let's start from the first floor.
Okay.
Oh! I almost forgot. It's a lockpick. You'd make better use of it.
Thanks. I may need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah, let's meet up in this hall even though we have no way to communicate with each other. Yeah, there's no radios. Among this elite police unit, no radios amongst each other. Yeah, bizarre, right? That... I failed to see the logic there, but anyway. So far, this game's hitting high marks for me in terms of graphics, and it's a Resident Evil game. It's a classic one, so of course that's always awesome too, right? So I'm gonna move this over. I'm gonna pick up the map. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I have the layout completely memorized. There's some keys, there's some doors that I kind of forget, and I'm always mixing up this game with director's cut. Like I said, I never played the very original version. To me, I haven't had much luck finding it to play it. Of course, I've seen videos of it on YouTube, things like that. But you'll hear me compare this game a lot to director's cut. I'll probably say something along the lines of, "Oh, this door is supposed to belong over here in the director's cut." So I apologize ahead of time if that annoys you, but it is what it is. So what I'm doing right now is I'm moving this back because if I recall correctly, I think I don't think there's a zombie back there right now. Oh, so the menu button is not start this time around. Okay. Usually it takes me about 15 or so minutes to kind of get used to the controls, so you'll see that. Okay, so this right here, this is new to this game. This is new to the remake. It's the defensive item, basically. You guys can read it here. So the character will automatically take it out if they're grabbed by a zombie. Grabbed from the front. If they're grabbed from behind, they'll get bitten. So they can, and each character gets 2 types. One is a dagger, and I think Jill gets a stun gun or something like that. So here we go. You'll probably see me use it right now because the zombie's actually quite close to me. Okay, let's see. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did it on purpose because I didn't really want to waste ammo on this guy. There's really no reason to fight him. So I'm just gonna push this over to block him in, and he shouldn't be a problem anymore. So that's that. I lost a defensive item, but it's alright. Okay, now this is interesting here. Sword. If I'm not mistaken, the director's cut version of the game, Jill doesn't need the sword key at all. I don't remember her picking up a sword key there. I know Chris does. So that's kind of an interesting element right there. So yeah, okay, helmet key. I believe you pick up the helmet key much later in the game. So I'm not gonna see what's behind that door for a while. I thought that was an armor key door in the other version, but so I don't really know where to go, so I'm just gonna go back here. I know Barry said he was gonna be here, but I doubt that somehow. So I really like what they did here, and I think by the way, I was super excited when I heard that they were going to release an HD version of this. At first I thought it was a rumor that this was going to be released, but next thing you know, a rumor turned into reality, and it turned into a release date, and I said, sweet. I know I was supposed to do another Let's Play, a blind Let's Play as a matter of fact, but it's Resident Evil. What do you guys want me to do? You guys know damn well that I'm going to play a Resident Evil game whenever I get the chance. And it's Wesker. You guys, it's been a while since I've played a game with Wesker, so you know how it is for me. And I love how he had like a copy of a traditional sized VHS tape. Like he's lugging that around. I know that in the intro you saw that I don't know if all the characters, it looked like only some of the characters had a camera mounted to them. Oh, a police camera. Oh boy. I don't really want to get into a controversial conversation about that. We all know what's going on there. But I think it was, who was it? Was it Joseph that had a camera? So you saw through the camera lens his perspective, and apparently Kenneth had one too, which is why Jill picked up a videotape from him. But that videotape looked too large. Like, how big is the camera that he's lugging around to produce a videotape of that size? That's just weird. That's probably why he wound up dying, because that equipment was just too heavy for him. For some reason, I thought there was going to be not a crow in the area, but some kind of bird because of the bird cage, but I guess I was wrong. So, we're moving along. I kind of forgot where this part is. This part was these hallways are definitely unique to the remake. Oh. Okay. This is my first time actively engaging an enemy, so now what I'm noticing is that the controls are not really quite what I'm used to. So I'm going to just switch them here. There you go. I didn't want to... It literally took me that long to like sit and say, wow, what are the controls that I was used to in previous Resident Evil installations? So it just took me a while to kind of conceptualize that. So now we're back. I'm happy with my selection and we can move on. Alright, so we have this one zombie here, and you saw a zombie that was prone there. I didn't walk up to him yet. So this guy's still alive. Let's just kill him. And I absolutely love, you'll see, the new, by new, it's not new, this came out in 2002, the mechanic in the game with the zombies. Oh my gosh, genius. Absolutely genius. That, and if for no other reason, I want to, you know, if there's no other reason to justify a remake of the second game, then just a simple inclusion of the Crimson Heads. Well, this game's really holding, well, I was going to say holding your hand, but no, it's not. Definitely not. That's the extent of hand holding. It just tells you what to do the first time and then you're done, which is nice. The arrowhead is made from period blood. Ugh. That was actually gross. I apologize for that. Okay, so actually I'm feeling pretty decent on ammo, which is nice. That's kind of a refreshing change. So I'm gonna go this way. I forget where that other door leads, but I'm gonna hold off on that for a second. Now, one thing I will say that is a challenge for me with this game, and it's kind of the version of the game is irrelevant. This game in particular, whether it's the director's cut, the remake, whatever it is, I always have a tough time in terms of inventory organization. It's because I don't really have the layout of the game down pat quite yet, like I do with the second game. Second game I know like the back of my hand. Code Veronica 2, although I still sometimes might have to backtrack in terms of items. But definitely I kind of forget what I need and when. So that's something that I'll probably be doing a lot. So I'm just seeing here what doors lie where and what keys are required by each of them. So here, oh, now this is interesting too. Okay, sword key. Now right about here I wasn't sure where to go, so I'm just gonna try this. This is actually a door that's new in the remake. I can't remember if there's zombies in here or not. I was actually gonna say walkers. Believe it or not, I was gonna say walkers. That's how much influence The Walking Dead has had on me. Okay, so I mean, this is fine being here because I have that arrowhead that I can use. So I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully I can get the sword key here. If not, then it's back to the drawing board for me. So let's go ahead and open this little passageway. See what lies in store down here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this game feels longer. Last time I played it, gave me this feeling that it was longer than the director's cut, because there's a lot of new elements. It's not just a new room here and a new room there. There's new enemies, there's new, yeah, I think it's fair to say new aspects of the story that are pretty cool. Definitely, to me, if someone wanted to say what is the definition of a successful remake, I would argue this. Even though apparently this game didn't sell well in 2002 when it came out, it did not sell well. So I think that actually prompted kind of the transition to a more action-oriented Resident Evil, to make it kind of more competitive with contemporary titles. I think that's what it was. At the time, it just did not sell as well as they wanted, as Capcom wanted, so they decided to change it up. So, but although interestingly enough, ironically enough, with the release of this game, and I just heard this, so I'm not sure if, I think it's still a rumor, so I don't know. Apparently, Capcom is considering making a remake of the second game. That's still a rumor, at least as far as I know. And I think, I don't know if the amount of copies sold of this game, even though it's a digital game, a downloadable game, I don't know if that's going to play a factor in whether Capcom is really considering making a remake of the second game. And then not to mention the fact that just the other day, as a matter of fact, apparently one of the writers for Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Nemesis, was also saying that he'd be open, I think it was a he, I'm not sure, he'd be open to a remake of that game. Like, that game's pretty sweet too. I mean, to me, like I've said, you know me, the second game's my favorite Resident Evil game, hands down. And it's also my favorite game, just hands down, period. But a remake of the third game with Nemesis, dude, that would be pretty sweet. Like, that would be awesome. I can't even imagine how terrifying that would be. Although you'd have to wonder with the third game, for example, if they were considering adding Crimson Heads to it, would that really be a feasible option? Now, Crimson Heads, you'll see coming up, and I'm jumping ahead, I do apologize. If this is your first time watching this game, you're not familiar with this game, I do apologize. So let me explain here. Crimson Heads are zombies that come back to life once they've been down. So you have the regular zombies that you attack and you kill, unless you get a headshot or unless you burn them. You'll see that momentarily. So the idea behind the Crimson Heads is that the zombies are down for a little while, and it works for this game because you're in this mansion for a long time, so it gives the zombies enough time to reanimate if they can. With Resident Evil 3, just thinking about how the game progresses, you don't really stay in one spot for a very long time. There might be one or two locations where you stay for a little while, but honestly, it wouldn't make sense to have Crimson Heads. So they would probably have to think of something a little more, they'd probably have to be creative in terms of coming up with maybe a new enemy type to instill the tension that this game is really, really amazing at doing. Like I said, I can't stop singing the praises of the remake. So you have the zombie here, and I have a defensive item, which is good. So, doesn't automatically kill them, but it gives you a chance to get away, which is nice. And I do think there's another zombie in this area. I have to be very, very, very careful. There he is, down below. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I can down him. I'm gonna... Probably standing right over him is not the best idea. So I'm just gonna pick up this herb. I'm running out of space anyway, so the save room is a welcome sight. I can't pick it up. Alright. So I have no choice but to go in here. This is one of two save rooms that's in the mansion. I tend to favor this one for some reason. I don't know why. I don't really use the other one as much unless I absolutely have to. And you are required to use it. At least once or twice. You'll see that in a future video. Okay, so there's a few items that I can pick up. And I like that here. I like that she actually, you see the animation of her arm lifting up the lid of the item box. In the in the earlier games, in the original Resident Evil games, the lid kind of opens like the people are telepathic or something, or telekinetic. Excuse me, telekinetic. So there were some items I picked up here, which is nice. I'm assuming in the harder version of the game, none of those items are available. So this fuel canteen is what you use to burn the zombies before they become Crimson Heads. So you'll find these kerosene containers in various areas. They're limited, so you have to be very strategic. So I'm gonna go ahead and save my game here before I die. And I think I'll end the video here, but I will see you guys in video 2. Until next time. Later.